Hey, make it fun. No, it is. Make it fun. Got to do it now. Make it fun. Got to do it now. Make it fun. Got to do.
Another way to increase our political power is by adding self-defense and militant resistance to our liberation struggle. What do I mean by this? I mean that every human has the right to defend themselves, their family, and their community. There is a specific campaign to pacify black people and other oppressed people. We're conditioned to think that the only way we should respond to systemic oppression is nonviolently. I'm sorry, I don't buy into this one bit. Nonviolence is a tactic, not a principle. It's always amazing to me whenever a black person says that it's always a big deal when a black person says they're not committed to nonviolence. We're automatically shamed and vilified. This country was built upon violence. This country is maintained through violence. Power is maintained through violence. If the president got on TV tomorrow and said, you know what, from now on we're gonna approach ISIS from a non-violent perspective, you would have thought he had lost his mind. Seriously. Because according to them, that's a terrorist organization. Well, according to me, the police are a terrorist organization. People getting beheaded overseas, well, my people are getting shot right here in America. For nothing other than being black. So I'm not able to respond to terrorism violently, but you can as a nation? Does that make sense? But we've been conditioned to think that our history of resistance has always been nonviolent. That is false. Even the great so-called civil rights movement, which I define as the freedom movement, was not a nonviolent movement. They'll teach you that, they'll condition you. Again, don't ever expect the enemy to tell you the truth. Because when they were having those sit-ins, when they were having those marches, please believe there was black people lined up across the sides with guns, ready to make it happen. Now they didn't, but they believed in self-defense. They believed in our right to defend ourselves. The Black Panther Party for self-defense believed in defending themselves. The Deacons of Defense believed in defending themselves. Our history of resistance has always been, it goes past that. Even after slavery and post-Reconstruction, our older elder men who were veterans of the Civil War formed union leagues to protect against, after the federal troops left the South, to protect against black terrorism against black people from the Klan. We didn't lie down and take oppression. Our people stood up and rose and fought, often. We still have that right today.
This is a man's world.
We can't talk about ending racism as black men and ignore the issues of black women. There's a powerful quote I read, and it came from the feminist movement, and I'm not positive who it came from, but it says, there cannot be any liberation for half a race of people. Women make up more than half the people on this earth. Yet we haven't had a woman president yet. They'd rather have a black man become a president before a white woman. Black male privilege. Who had the right to vote? Black men or white women first? Black men. Now, they might have denied us and gave us a couple jelly beans, a counting jar, and a lot of other stuff that we couldn't do, right? But in the books, they said, we'll let black men vote before women, white women. That's how real sexism is. It's powerful. And I see a lot of us brothers fall short, right? We want to end racism. We down with the black power. Right? We constantly ignore our issues of our women, and we feel like we're the only ones capable to lead. Well, there was some powerful black women that led. Fannie Lou Hamer, Assata Shakur, Angela Davis. Ooh, powerful sister. I love her. I love me some Ashley. Yes. A little bit too much. But it's important. Why this issue is important? Because you know what? Who's the fastest growing population of people in prison right now? Black women. Black women. You're going to jail faster than any other population has ever had. More than black men. At the rate, there's more black men in prison, but you're growing faster. And it's up to us, not only just black women, to pay attention. This is a black man. How can you talk about fighting for black people if you're ignoring black women? They're black people. The time has come for us to think about a new society. We gotta start thinking about the world we want to live in. We got to think about the world we want our children to live in, our grandchildren to live in, our great-grandchildren to live in. What kind of world is this for black boys and black girls and all other girls and boys? Why do we have to live in fear? Right. Why do we have to be afraid? Why do I have to get shot by the same guns I paid for? Why? You want to know who's looting from you? Check your pay stub. That's who's looting from you. That's who's stealing from you, and they're killing you. They're killing you. Right here in Durham. This is not just in Ferguson, it's happening everywhere. It's happening in Palestine, it's happening in Raleigh, it's happening in California, it's happening all over the world. What is happening is white, supremacist, capitalist patriarchy. That's right. Yes. It's racism, it's sexism, it's all. And it ain't just happening to black boys, it ain't just happening to other boys, it's happening to women too. Renisha McBride was shot in the head by a vigilante. Rakia Boyd, Stephanie Nicholson, right here in Durham, was beat up in her own home. A veteran. She fought for them and they beat her. That's right. This is the world that we live in. The first thing we have to do is wake up. The first thing we have to do is wake up. The first thing we have to do is wake up. Malcolm X said the greatest mistake was trying to organize sleeping people around specific goals. You have to wake the people up, then you'll get action. You have to elevate your consciousness. The second thing we have to do is get organized. What is this? We're organized. You should be talking to everybody beside you. You need to be giving emails, phone numbers, and everything. You find somebody that has the similar interests as you, the specific goals as you get with them, you make a plan of action. You make a plan of action, you'll raise consciousness in the areas that you feel you want to raise consciousness in. The third thing you have to do is resist. Resist, resist. Stop this. Really think about this. Think about it. Poor people, when we have a drug problem, where do we go? To prison. Where do rich people go? They go to Malibu, to this nice, great place. You ever watch the show Intervention? I get so pissed off because everybody's on crystal meth and all that other stuff. They get help from my poor people when we smoke crack cocaine and other stuff just because we're trying to escape the oppression that we are dealing with. We go to jail and go to prison, not to get help, but to be institutionalized, to be put in cages, and they still give us drugs there. They don't give us help. How many people come out of prison changed? Very, very few. It is a revolving door, and a lot of us support prison. We have to change our minds about how we're thinking about this. We have to resist in our minds. We have to resist in the streets. There are very different ways that we can resist, and not one way is successful than the other. We need all forms of resistance. All forms of resistance. We need to arm ourselves. We need to protect ourselves. We as a people have a right to defend ourselves, our communities, and our families. A lot of people are saying that we have to be peaceful. We do not have to be peaceful. We do not have to accept it. We do not have to take this. We can stand up, we can fight, and we can do what we have to do. I'm out. Peace.
I got soul, and I'm super bad.